how it made me feel, what I was going through at that time. And so they were like, you know, he's testing your boundaries. He's seeing what he can get away with. He's intentionally starting arguments with you to have control and power in the dynamic and make you uncertain of your reality. He's taking advantage of your kindness. I don't like how he's treating you, and I'm starting not to like him, and it's time for me to cut him off. These are what my support, each and every one of my supporters that I had sat down and I had talked with, they had pretty much told me the same, not word for word, but along the lines of the same thing. Basically, he's testing to see what he can get away with. He's taking advantage of my kindness, and it's time to cut. It's time to cut ties. It's time to cut my losses, because whatever he needs to learn, whatever he needs to understand, he's not going to learn and understand by a platonic friendship. He's clearly bitter and heartbroken and upset that I don't feel the same way about him, and he's willing to destroy my life to make me feel that same pain and hurt that he feels, and it's not acceptable. It's not okay. So I took their advice. I did exactly as they said. I didn't accuse him of anything. I didn't challenge him. I had to sit down and talk with him because he was not going to let it go. So I sat down with him and I told him that you know, look, you know, I don't have anything against you. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to criticize you. I'm not here to put you down. But, you know, the issue with the whole boundaries thing, I feel like my boundaries are being a little violated. Do you understand where I'm coming from? And he was like, yeah, I understand. And, you know, the second time he was a little less combative and argumentative. And he was a little bit more understanding, or at least pretending to be understanding. My guess is he realized that I had caught on to his behavior and I wasn't going to let it slide, so he was trying to seem like he was willing to compromise, and it was clear that that wasn't the case. So I knew that in my heart, and my supporters were seriously urging me to cut him off, because I was like, the thing is, when I had that sit down and talk with him, I really tried to be passive and ghost him, because I could tell that cutting him off was going to be dangerous for me. So I did avoid it a couple times. I did confront him when he was disregarding my boundaries, so he could be aware of his behavior. But he just got worse, and he started involving other people, and those people felt uncomfortable with the way he was disrespecting me and talking about me behind my back. So they came to me and told me that everything that he said, and they're letting me know that they were on my side, and that whatever he said, they didn't believe him, and they believed me, and whatever my side of the story was, they believed me and they took my side. So that support that I had received gave me the strength to eventually go no contact. So the final conversation that I had with him was basically just letting him know that it was probably best that he and I go separate directions in life, because, you know, we were constantly bumping heads. It seemed like my presence in his life was making him angry and uncomfortable, and it was triggering his rage. And I didn't want to see him miserable and upset like that, because it seemed like, even though I was okay with being his friend, he didn't really seem to be okay with being my friend. And whatever jealousy that he had towards me, whatever heartbreak that he had towards me, he was willing to make that known publicly, and he was willing to hold that over my head for the rest of my life. So my supporters were just like, you need to cut your losses. He's taking advantage of you. So I did exactly as they suggested, and I told him, you know, it's best that you and I go our separate ways, and it just kind of seems like we're bumping heads. I'm not trying to point fingers at anyone, but it just seems like we're not getting along, and there's a lot of arguing, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of distrust. You know, it seems like we just seem to be bumping heads with each other, and I don't think even a friendship is going to work out. And I could tell that he was very upset, you know, but he played it off. He tried to act like everything was okay. He tried to act like, you know, well, even though you and I are not friends anymore, I wish you the best, and, you know, just kind of pretending like everything was cool and that he was handling it well. At the time, you know, I was more naive and gullible. So if somebody says everything is okay, I just try not to challenge that, and I just go with the flow. You know, if I don't have enough information at the time, or if I don't have the wisdom that I have now, You know, a lot of times I just take it surface level because I don't want to argue, I don't want to challenge anyone, I don't want to disrespect anyone, I'm not trying to pick a fight with anyone. So I just take it as is. So he kind of took advantage of that. You know, him pretending like everything was okay and that he wasn't as upset with me as he's displaying now. You know, that caused a lot of tension because for me because I was blindsided. I was sucker punched by his anger. By him trying to vilify me. I was sucker punched. I didn't see it coming. I didn't think that he would get as angry as he did. I knew he was upset. But you know, let's just be realistic. When you have a friend and you have a falling out with a close friend that you've known ever since childhood, of course there's going to be some tension. There's going to be a little, you know, anger there. You know, but that's natural when it comes to, you know, when you have a close relationship with someone and then you go your separate ways and you know, you still have some things that you want to say that hit below the belt, but you can't say it because it's not the right thing to do. So it's like, I feel like at the end of the day, we were both a little upset. But I thought, I honestly believed that he had moved on because I had moved on. So I assumed the best. If I move on with my life and I'm having a great time and I'm investing myself and my energy into new things, I'm naturally going to assume that the other person is doing the same, even if they may be going through a financial pickle or some hiccups in their life. I'm naturally just going to assume that, you know, they're doing okay and that everything is okay, they're okay, and that revenge, them needing to get revenge from me being loyal and then eventually cutting ties, that's just out of the question. That's what I was thinking at the time, and boy was I naive thinking that. I was very gullible for believing that he was just okay with everything. Like he was okay with me not talking to him anymore, that he was okay with me moving on and having new friends and new romantic relationships. I honestly thought that he was going to move on and be okay with that eventually, you know, because I was upset with the way he treated me, but I forgave him at one point in time, and I just accepted that, you know, sometimes people grow apart. I didn't never think that he was inferior to me. I never embarrassed him in public. I didn't, you know, betray him. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I understand that me rejecting him broke his heart, but aside from me breaking his heart, I was very loyal to him. You know, I respected his boundaries. If he asked me to stop, I stopped. If he didn't want to talk about something, I stopped talking about it. If he wanted some space, I gave him space. Like, it just felt like it was very one-sided. He was definitely taking advantage of me, taking advantage of my vulnerability, taking advantage of my childhood trauma. He used his privilege, his male privilege, his, you know, white privilege to dominate my life and tear it apart. And a lot of times, if he wasn't able to sway my supporters to join his side, then he threatened them. Some of them he threatened. You know, there was women that I dated that he intimidated and isolated me from. Sometimes, like I said, he would go as far as to impersonate me, pretend to be me, and swipe them right from under me. And at that time, like I said, I didn't really think too much of it because it is what it is. Like, I mean, if it's a situation that I can't control, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not trying to control him. I'm not trying to beg anyone to stay that doesn't want to stay. So if that's what happens, you know, that's just what happens. There's nothing I can do. But I just want you guys to understand that I know that sometimes my outbursts can be annoying. It can be an inconvenience. I know that sometimes when I respond to their provocations, I know that can create unnecessary drama, that it can create a hostile environment and make it, you know, 10 times worse. And I can understand how it makes people uncomfortable. And I apologize for my outbursts. I apologize for losing my temper, losing my cool, because I know that I'm supposed to be professional. But with everything that I've been through, and with his constant belittling me and degrading me for being transgender, his racial slurs, having him do that every day. Like, I want you guys to understand, every night before I go to bed, he follows me to where I lay my head to sleep. He follows me. And he says all type of racial slurs, and he says all type of degrading things about my trauma and the gang rape and the sexual assault that I experienced as a child. He said he makes fun of me for that every single night before I go to sleep. Every day when I wake up in the morning, he does the exact same thing. So not only is it something that I have to go to bed to every day for 30 years, but it's something that I have to wake up to every morning for 30 years, every single day. Him talking on the phone, him talking at me, him talking to me and saying inappropriate things to me, him getting other people involved, and me not getting a break from his bullying and harassment. I have to put up with so much. And I've been quiet about it for many years. And now that things are kind of blown out of control, blown out of proportion, I can understand why people perceive me as being the inconvenience and the problem, because I'm the scapegoat, because I'm the black sheep. And all of my family members have ganged up on me, turned on me, blamed me. When people who are unsuspecting were asking what was going on and why I was spazzing and why I was losing my cool, they were asking, what was going on. My family members ganged up on me, threw me under the bus, made it seem like I was a problem child, made it seem like I was just a troublemaker, made it seem like I was causing problems, instead of telling unknowing and unsuspecting people the truth. Of course they weren't going to do that. If they could blame me, make me the source of everybody's inconvenience, everybody's sorrow, everybody's problems, then they wouldn't have to take accountability for what they did to me when I was 3 years old. So I can understand how me having emotional outbursts, it's easiest probably to blame me, because on the surface, I may be the only one complaining, or you may see me arguing with several people about the same topic, the same thing, and it seems like I'm just causing problems. And I just want to clarify for those who have no idea what's going on and they may perceive me as the problem, that I have no intention on disrespecting anyone. I have no intention on disturbing the peace. I have no interest in drama, chaos, negativity. I just want to clarify for those who don't know that sometimes my anger gets the best of me, because I have to deal with this all day, every day. And so much negativity in my life, considering everything that I've been through, it's getting harder and harder every day to be professional. I'm gonna admit that. It's getting harder for me to be professional. It's getting harder for me to be humble. I'm trying to keep my shadow at bay. I'm trying to keep it under control. I really am trying. And I just want you guys to at least hear, if you don't see my efforts, I do want you to hear from the sound of my voice how much energy that I'm putting towards self-preservation, humility, and letting this experience be a lesson for me. I'm really trying. I'm really trying. But the racial profiling that I have to experience every day is standing in my way. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to cause less of a disturbance to the public. I really am trying, y'all. I'm trying very, very hard to be respectful, to be quiet, to be silent, to self-preserve, to not engage, to not respond. I'm trying very, very, very hard. And I guess maybe the universe is testing my character, testing my limits. And I respect that, I understand that the universe tests us. Sometimes the universe will apply a lot of pressure on us. Sometimes the universe will allow us to break so that we can become anew. And I guess maybe that's what I'm going through. Maybe a part of me is breaking. A sense of myself is breaking. Maybe the need to prove a point to someone. Maybe the need to be right. Maybe I'm going through an ego death right now, and I can accept that. But I just want you guys to understand and to see firsthand you know, what I have to experience and how difficult it is for me to be professional when someone's making fun of me for being raped at 3 years old every day, all day.